First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to attend today. The coverage that we get from you all is great. It helps our young men. It helps our friends and family and alumni stay in touch with our program. But it's game week, and we're excited about it. It's been a long time since we've been able to get on the field and compete against someone else, so we're looking forward to it. I think we had a very solid training camp. I think we got a lot of issues and needs addressed. Obviously, this game is huge for us. It's very important. Virginia State's a good football team. I think for the last 4 or 5 years in a row, these guys have won 8 games and been in contention for the conference championship and played in the playoffs a few times. So it's a formidable opponent, and obviously they're the defending Labor Day Classic champions. So it's something that we've lived with for a year, and we're excited to get the opportunity to compete against these guys on Saturday. If you're a competitor, you don't forget anytime you lose. I can tell you when I lost my middle school championship back at Stonewall Jackson, so anytime you lose a football game, it weighs heavily on you. And obviously this is a big game for bragging rights. It's a big game for friends and family and alumni. And they came to our place last year and they beat us up. They punched us in the mouth in front of our home fans, and it's something that we deserved. We didn't play well enough to win, and we probably could have played anyone that day, as I said earlier, when we wouldn't have won. That's not taking any credit away from what Coach Barlow and the guys have done at Virginia State, but it's definitely something that we've thought about. And we were able to move past it a season ago, but anytime you get the opportunity to play someone again that that beat you in a certain situation, you're going to remember it. Well, I don't expect them to have an NFL running back this year. Trenton's doing a great job representing all of HBCU sports up there with the Jets, and we're all very proud of him. But it's kind of tough to tell. I think their roster's kind of in flux. I worked with their offensive coordinator Mark Carney for years, and I know Mark's base philosophy, but he's done a great job there with some up-tempo things. So we think they're going to try to come in and keep us off balance with tempo and formations. Personnel-wise, it's really tough to say who they're going to have, and what we focused on more so than anything else is just making sure that we're ready defensively to defend their tempo and formations.
This year compared to last year, I can say everyone has a better understanding of the playbook. Everyone knows their assignment, their technique, so everyone improved on that. So compared to last year, I feel like we're better prepared coming into this game.
Wes, same thing for you.
I feel like this year we're playing a lot faster. I was actually looking at the game film the other day, preparing, but we're gonna be moving a lot faster, a lot more physical up front. That's the one thing I noticed. We weren't physical as I've seen as we were, this past spring and going in the training camp. We're a lot more physical. We're playing a lot more faster. We're getting the play started. We've been taking major steps. For me as an older guy, I've seen my play, go up tremendously. With me, Kirby, Rob, our play has gone up tremendously, and we've been getting a lot more from the younger guys. A lot of guys been stepping up a lot more, been learning, been able to play faster, been able to do a lot of things on the field. We get a running back that's a 1,000-yard rusher. We protecting Pooty. He's been made Player of the Week last year like twice. Keep him on that pace. But our main thing, we really want to run the ball this year. So if we ever get our running backs, at least 1,000 yards this year, that's really my goal.
Out of the linebackers, I like to see us stop the run more, coming down, stop the run, taking pressure out the D lineman, and with the secondary helping us have control of the pass, so everyone working together, I think it all come together.
He's a big-time athlete. I mean, obviously he's a Division I transfer. I think he ran for 700 and some odd yards last year, 18 touchdowns. So, I don't know if he throws the ball as well as he runs the ball, but obviously he's a threat to throw it. But I think you've got to defend him run-wise first. In their zone read package and all the things that they do with him quarterback run-wise. He's probably their best returning offensive player that I know of. They've grown up a bunch. Taylor had a very, very good year as a freshman. And, with the exception of probably 1 week, Josh had a very good year as a freshman. They're sophomores. They're out, making kicks, and we've tried to put those guys in situations all summer long where that have been pressure-packed, that have been game-winning situations. Sometimes they've been successful. Sometimes they haven't been, more so than not. Those guys have created more confidence, and our team is behind those guys. We talk to our guys all the time about the fact that if a wide receiver drops the ball, everybody says, hey, it's okay. Kicker misses a kick, he kind of walks to the end of the bench by himself. So we've made a huge priority about making sure that we're inclusive when it comes to our special teams guys, and I think it's paid off for those guys' confidence. It's funny because Wes has been here with me from day one. I remember, You know, I didn't even have a permanent residence. You know, when we hosted Wes and his family on his recruiting visit. He's you know, he's a Fork Union kid, so he and I have you know, something in common there. But Wes has been a guy that, in all quite honesty, we've tried to replace Wes from day one. And Wes is kind of the resident tough guy. You know, it's kind of surreal for me to see Wes going into his senior year because, like I said, he's played essentially in every game with probably the exception of a few since he's been here. So the maturation of him on the field, and he's always done a tremendous job in the classroom. We've never had an issue with him off the field. Has been great. And with Nigel, you know, Nigel's a guy from my hometown. You know, I know where Nigel comes from, and not a lot of kids from Nigel's high school go on to play college football, even go to college. And you know, we luckily we were smart enough to redshirt him as a freshman. He'd be a senior now, so we've got another year with him. But he's our playmaker in our front seven. You know, has the ability to put his hand down and play defensive end, has the ability to play linebacker. I think linebacker is his natural position, so he's having a little bit more fun back there. But he's a motor guy. I don't think I've ever seen him tired, and he's one of those guys. And both of these guys are, you know, guys that you're glad to say they're on my team.
This preseason, I seen Wes step up, playing a major role in the O-line, getting the younger guys more involved, taking more control, more leadership of the front five. But as far as everyone is, I feel like Wes, yeah, this would have to be a big year for Wes. And once he get everybody along with him, then the front five, they would be a sure goal.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, going back to the specialists, it's a different opportunity for the specialists, you know, and as far as their plants and all those things, and just for everybody else running around, the surface is different. So there's different fatigue levels in dealing with the turf, and you know, no matter what type of infill you use, that turf is still hotter than regular grass. So we had the ability to get on it last night. We'll have the ability to get on it again today. And obviously, you know, we've played on it everywhere in the conference, with the exception of probably A&T. But it does take some getting used to, and it does take a little bit more out of you. And we got after the guys pretty good last night. I guess it was still probably 85 or 90 degrees at 8:30 when we finished last night. So it gave us the opportunity to be a part of that situation in a game time setting. Well, that's what conditioning is for. You know, obviously we're going to play as many people as we can possibly play, but you practice. You know, you start in January, and you structure your practices through the summer. You know, it's been hot all summer long. You know, and obviously, like I said, we got out last night, and we're going to get out again today. You know, we're going to control what we can. You know, we can't control whether it's 90 degrees. We can't control whether it rains. You know, but the thing that we can control is how we show up and play on Saturday. And that's what's most important to us. You know, I mean, injuries are a part of football, but I think the great thing about it is, you know, we have not had the luxury of having 7 or 8 guys that could play. You know, obviously we have our starting 5, but now we have depth at that position, and we've never had that issue. But those guys have been together pretty much, you know, all spring and all summer, and you know, it's been great for them, you know, to make the transition from our last offensive line coach to Coach Sweet's demanding style of play. And I think it's something that people are going to be proud of. You know, a lot of times when you look at the offensive line struggle, you just think it's the offensive line. But, you know, we've got backs that can hit home runs now. You know, we got a quarterback that knows where the ball should go. You know, so a lot of times there could be a sack. That's the quarterback's fault. There could be a there could be a 2-yard gain or a 2-yard loss. That could be the running back's fault. So I think we've got to identify all those kinds of things. But I'm very confident in these guys, and I think the fact that we ran the ball for less than 100 yards a game bothers those guys as much as it bothers me, and I think that'll change this season. Well, the greatest thing for me is I think I've only got about 2 or 3 18-year-olds that'll play in this game on Saturday night. You know, whereas a year ago there was probably 16 or 17. You know, we've got some 22s and some 21s and some, you know, 20s and 19s now. I think we're only probably scheduled to probably play 1 or 2 true freshmen, which is you know, completely different than it was a year ago. So we've gotten older, we've matured, and we're playing guys who have played in games. You know, I think you'd probably see less than 4 or 5 guys on the field this year, including freshmen and redshirt freshmen, that didn't play in this game a year ago. I think Marcus Taylor is probably one of the fastest guys in the conference, not just our team.
Great.
And you know, he's a guy that can run. He can run for long periods of time. He can run fast for long periods of time. So he's definitely someone that we want to get touches on Saturday.